Hey guys, it's the Artsy Gamer back again with another video in our channel. Grab your coffees, grab your teas and maybe a little bit of food, and of course, let's do this. Okay guys, grab a quick sip, and it is a quick one today, guys. Yeah, reason being it is quite a busy day for me, so yeah, not too much of a longer video. But anyway guys, if you are new here and you are into retrospectives, complete and boxed experiences, art and graphic design, you are so in the right place here. So definitely consider giving this channel a subscribe and a like to the video if you haven't already. Anyway, yesterday we completed our Rayman drawing. A few weeks ago we did the outline, last week we did a bit of a colour, and then yesterday we actually just went through a bit more detail, which I think really works, and I'm glad everyone had a little follow along with that. I've already had some really nice comments. But anyway, if you stayed on towards the end, I had a really lovely recommendation from Black Eagle, getting all the shout outs at the moment, Black Eagle. But yeah, massive fan of the channel, and I'm always looking for feedback and recommendations from our viewers. Black Eagle actually suggested, I know that you're into Pokemon. I know you've got a bit of a card collection. Why don't you do like a pick out of a Pokemon card, maybe pop them all in the hat, and then that is your next art piece that you draw on the channel. And I thought, you know what, actually that is a really sick idea. So yeah, I'm not going to do the grand reveal today or anything because it is a very quick vid, but I just thought I'll actually show you just a few of my Pokemon cards that I have collected, show them to the camera, and then maybe just, get me a bit nostalgic, just get a little bit nostalgic, and then maybe I'll just pop them, some that I like, in a pile, and then those can be the ones that go in the hat to be revealed. All right then. So yeah, first things first, I'll actually show you the box that I actually put my Pokemon cards in. And it's this big daddy here, and unfortunately it is not filled. I wish it was. I only started collecting Pokemon cards probably 5 or 6 years ago, during the pandemic actually. And I got this box to go with it. Whoa, okay. And I've just been steadily building up my Pokemon card collection. I'm not going mad on it at all, because I know you can get a little bit carried away with Pokemon, can't you, with the vast amount of cards that are out there. But yeah, there's lots of different slots. I've kind of slotted them as in like shinies, really cool artistic work, and then ones I'm not so keen on but maybe might inspire me for another art piece down the line, kind of thing. So yeah, I actually haven't got any cards in there. I think I did do a little bit of resorting the other day actually, but that was kind of the sorting aspect that I went for. But also the reason being, guys, and you're probably about to shout down the camera, I can already hear you, and you don't even know what I'm going to say yet, but I'm not a Pokemon gamer. Okay, I don't play any Pokemon games, and I don't play the Pokemon card games either. The reason being is because I've just got, a limited time, guys, limited time, especially with all my other video games and stuff like that. And plus, I actually just prefer to collect them for the awesome artwork and design that are on these cards. So yeah, that's kind of why I collect them. Yeah, not to play the game or anything before I get comments going like, oh, how'd you do this, I don't know, mechanic in the game? How'd you find this? How'd you find that? And I'm like, yeah, I don't actually play. I just card collect for the for the artwork. But you know what? Why not? Honestly, some Pokemon cards have some absolutely beautifully designed pieces there to really inspire kind of like gaming artists like myself. So yeah, that is exactly why I collect the cards. And I just picked up a handful just from my box there, just to show you. I'm not going to go into the artsy game and like the gashes, the slashes, the splashes, the cuts, those explosions or anything like that today. But I just thought, yeah, I'll just show you some really cool images that I think really work well in the Pokemon card. And maybe, like I said, I'll pop some in a pile where I think, actually, yes, that can go in the hat and we can do a bit of a reveal, yeah. And yeah, just get all nostalgic. Why not? So yeah, I'm just gonna hold them up to the camera, just give them a little look, you know what I mean, and yeah, just give you my thoughts and feelings. So starting off with where I get them from. Now, I actually get my cards from a mixture of places. I've already said a massive one on this channel before. Vinted is also really, really good for Pokemon cards, especially if you're just starting out. Oh, wow. I mean, you can get, I would say, hundreds for maybe only £10. I mean, I don't know really if they're any good with regards to, like, you know, what characters you get. But I tell you what, if you are just collecting them for the cards themselves and, you know, to have a little dabble with the art and, you know, get involved with the graphic design, then yeah, I would recommend Vinted. You can get so many for a really, really good price. Another place is gaming conventions. Yeah, I've been to quite a few gaming conventions in the UK, and honestly, the amount of Pokemon that is there is crazy. So yeah, I would definitely maybe check out some sort of gaming convention. And again, you can pick up some really, really awesome ones, actually dated back as like late as, you know, the 1990s. Again, for really, really cheap. Of course, I'm not a massive Pokemon follower, so I don't know how good the cards are with regards to like the actual character and, you know, how rare it is or whatever. But like, if you know, if you're just me and wanting it for the art, then it's absolutely perfect. It really, really is. Yeah, I know Facebook Marketplace does some really good, you know, collections of cards there for really, really cheap. So definitely check out that as well. Now, for anyone that's, I don't know, in the US or anywhere around the world, hang on, what all about this CEX? You're always on about CEX. Well, no, CEX don't do Pokemon cards or anything like that. It is very much just secondhand gaming, games, consoles, you know, old retro games, you know, stuff like that. They will not be selling Pokemon cards, but you never know, maybe down the line they will when they they start to see a bit of traction. I have recently noticed that they're putting a lot more different kind of like, yeah, actual hardware in their shops these days, you know. So yeah, maybe later on down the line they will, but at the moment, you know, CEX is currently not doing any kind of like Pokemon cards as such. But yeah, these are really, really awesome. How fantastic are these? Of course, you can probably pick some up on eBay as well. I don't really tend to shop on eBay. I don't know why. I think just for me, Vinted and Facebook Marketplace and actually just going out physically to gaming conventions is more my bag. But yeah, you could probably do eBay as well. I'm sure they've got some really awesome cards on there too. But yeah, how awesome are these? Wow, I have got quite a few, which are just really, really lovely. But maybe just going into a bit of nostalgic talk now. Yeah, I mean, my kind of like nostalgic, you know, vibe back in the day was when I would actually just go around my cousin's house and just look at that awesome Pokemon cards collection. For some reason, they were really into it. They are a bit older than me, between 5 and 7 years older. So, you know, that was when Pokemon was really rife, you know, and all over the TV, kids advertise. And stuff like that. So they really got on the bandwagon with it. Again, I'm not too sure if they were really that invested with, I don't know, the actual game itself, and, you know, the actual, you know, tabletop Pokemon card game either. I'm not too sure, but I just remember, have vivid memories of them having, you know, boxes like mine just there, just full of Pokemon cards. And weirdly, quite a lot of, do you know the actual symbols? Just right at the top there, you know, those sort of big cards with just the symbol. Yeah, for some reason they had loads of those, and I'll just remember just sitting there actually mesmerised at those specific big cards with the big symbol, you know, representing electricity or you know, water or whatever, you know. Again, I am really, really ignorant when it comes to Pokemon, but yeah, and I don't know why. In fact, weirdly, I was more mesmerised with those rather than the actual cards themselves. Yeah, it was really, really strange. I don't know whether it was because my cousins were like, well, you can have these and we're gonna have these. Do you know what I mean? I was palmed off with not even the Pokemon themselves. I was just palmed off with some sort of like logo, and they had the awesome cards to themselves. But yeah, I've got some really awesome shiny ones here. But yeah, and maybe I'm saying that now because I do remember taking some home with me. So maybe they did allow me to take some Pokemon cards home with me. And but it was literally just the symbols. They didn't want to give away their awesome art pieces. So yeah, adding 2 and 2 together now. That probably was what happened. But nevertheless, really lovely memories of just sitting down with my cousins and just having a look at the great artwork that is involved with Pokemon, don't you think? It is just so, so lovely. Yeah, and I'm really, really happy that I've built, you know, or starting to build a bit of a Pokemon card collection, because the artwork is so up my street. If you know me by now, it is so up my vibe. And anything can really inspire you to get creative, and Pokemon is definitely one of them for sure. Yeah, just a few more now, and I have actually done a little bit of a pile actually, you know, some to definitely go in the hat, others not to. But yeah, no, I have actually got quite a few shinies, and yeah, maybe people in the comments, could you let me know, are these any good? Are they worth anything? Could, you know, maybe I could sell some off on to get Harry Potter and the Chamber of no, Philosopher's Stone. Sorry, Philosopher's Stone on the PS2. That's what I'm after. That's a pricey bad boy. But yeah, oh yes, I love this one. This one's really cool. Yeah, I actually really dig just actually the basic kind of like art style to these last few here, actually. Very retro. Yeah, I am feeling more of a retro vibe, I think, if we do a let's draw next week. And I will have more time next week, of course. I'm not bombarded with any kind of like jiu-jitsu stuff that I've got going on over the weekend, so it should be nice and chill, ready to do a let's draw for sure. But yeah, I like some of these basic old school ones here. Yeah, really, really lovely. Hi, there's Pikachu himself. Oh, wow, how awesome. And then, yeah, my last one there out of my handful that I picked out my box. And yeah, guys, I will do, you know, a bit of an artsy gamer kind of like, oh, you know, looking into the art of some really, really cool ones that I'll pick out for sure. You know how it is, and you know I'll get too excited, but yeah, I'll definitely do that. Anyway, yeah, so I have got a bit of a, you know, a pile going. This one's definitely, you know, to go in the hat. So, yeah, I'll pop that to one side, and next week we can have a little look. Absolutely. But anyway, guys, sorry it is such a short video today. Like I said, very, very busy delivering art pieces. Getting involved with some jiu-jitsu competition stuff. You know how it is, hence why I'm in a very baggy top. And to be fair, I am most mornings. It's because I, you know, after that heading into work, and I ain't sprucing up for work. You know what I mean? Anyway, guys, that is me. That is the Arctic Gamer. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Over and out.